everybody, welcome to Wild Boy Movies, the place to talk movies. And if you've seen all of my Sonic movie reviews that I did for whenever Sonic 3 was coming out, you know that these are movies that I quite enjoy and really like, especially that third one. And with me being a fan of the Sonic movie series, you know that I had to go ahead and get me some of the merchandise that was available for these movies. And that's what I'm going to be doing in this video. I'm going to be showing you all of the Sonic movie merchandise that I've gotten thus far, because you know that we're going to be getting some more awesome merchandise whenever Sonic 4 comes out in 2027. But be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below your favorite piece of Sonic movie merchandise from this video. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start things off with the collectible movie theater merchandise that I got for the Sonic movies. Now, these are really only for the third Sonic movie. There really wasn't any collectible movie theater merchandise for the first two movies. And plus, even if there were, I wasn't a big popcorn bucket collector at that time. But after I got the Godzilla X Kong tin bucket and cup, that really kicked off the collection. So, enough talking. Let's take a look at the Sonic tin that I got. This one's from Regal. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because I already showed you guys this bucket from the popcorn bucket video that I made. You got the Sonic logo and you got all the characters on the side. One thing though that I did not point out in that popcorn bucket video, which yeah, you should definitely take a look for a more closer look at this thing. I didn't notice and point out that for this side you see Sonic, turn it around, it has like this blue background, but when we go over to shadow, when we turn it here, it's a red background, and that's kind of cool because Sonic for blue is like good guys, while Shadow is red for bad guys. That is pretty cool. And that popcorn bucket came with two cups. Now, taking a look at the cups, they're both the exact same, so I'm not going to bother showing you both of the cups just because they're exactly identical. And again, I already covered these cups in the movie theater collectibles for the cups, so if you haven't already, go ahead and check that one out. But they did come with two different toppers that I will also show off. So we got Sonic in his movie theater seat eating some popcorn and enjoying the movie, whilst you also got the same thing but with Shadow just sitting there eating his popcorn. And it's also kind of cool that Regal's doing this for some of these movies. Like, I know again there's like these Sonic ones, but there's also ones for Deadpool and Wolverine, and there's also one for Megan 2.0, which honestly looks creepy in my opinion, like gives off unsettling vibes. But that really was all the movie theater merchandise I got for Sonic Movie 3. So let's just get into like the action figures. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the 2.5-inch figures, and really I only have two of them, and that is for Sonic and Shadow. Now, I didn't take these out of the packaging just because they're 2.5 inches and they could break easily, but mainly it's because of Shadow, because take a look at this one, it looks like that he's locked up in that cryo freeze chamber from that second Sonic movie's post-credit scene, which they retconned in Sonic 3, where he was just floating in the water that he was in, instead of it being like his arms and legs are locked up like it was in that post-credit scene. But still pretty cool nonetheless. It's not very detailed because again it's 2.5 inches. What is very detailed about the figures though are the 5-inch figures. So I have both types of them, the regular and the lighter one. So let's start with the regulars. First up, we got the Sonic figure. See right here, got some cool detailing. I do also like how the eyes look like they are following you, kind of like that dinosaur illusion art. I don't know if you've seen that before. It has many different points of articulation. See all of that, including his head. I was trying to move stomach a bit, but yeah, there we go. See, you can move that a bit. He also got his shoes, which are also articulated. And yeah, this one's pretty cool. You got some of these with the quills in the back, which I don't know why they're there because this one doesn't light up. Next one is for Tails. This is from the 4-pack of figures. And you see Tails here with his angry expression. You got his double tails here, which is the hardest part about this figure. Because if I want to stand him, he falls just because of these extra tails. So we try to do that again. And here, no, they fall. You have to have the tails to the ground to keep him standing. That's kind of also the thing with that end plush I have in the background from Murder-Drones. He'll only sit right if he is leaning against his tail. But this is for the Sonic figures, not the Murder-Drone plush, so there's that Tails figure. We also got the Knuckles figure. This one is also from the 4-pack. And you got also more points of articulation. You also got his shoes there, his fists, which also can be undone so you could hold something. Maybe if you have like a 5-inch Agent Stone figure, which I'm pretty sure doesn't exist, you can recreate the scene where Knuckles crushes Agent Stone's hand. So that's pretty cool. And these figures also have the effect where it looks like they're always watching you. And the last for the non-light up figures is this Shadow figure. So let me actually get Shadow off of this so we can take a closer look. Here we have Shadow. This one doesn't have the eye effect like the other figures because this really isn't from like a single pack of figures, but this is from a set that came with his motorcycle, which I will get to in a second. And for that, the hands also don't move. Unfortunately, they're stuck in this position, but still got pretty cool detailing. Also, like details on his shoes and his arms. And this is a pretty cool figure. Now, looking at this motorcycle, I'm pretty surprised that they even made a motorcycle toy for this Sonic movie because we only get like one scene of Shadow riding his motorcycle in the 3rd Sonic movie. And yet it was enough screen time for them to make this toy in the first place. Now, Shadow can actually ride on his motorcycle. You just gotta attach these little stubs to his foot and it's gotta attach it. This is kind of difficult to do. Here we gotta get it right, and yeah, he's now sitting on his motorcycle, but it just came off. So let me fix that. But another thing you have to do in order to have Shadow ride his motorcycle is put his arms into the motorcycle steering thing. So what we do over here, we gotta place it. There we go. Now we have Shadow riding his motorcycle, which is a pretty cool like display figure. And the wheels do also move, by the way. And you can have Shadow doing a wheelie. But that really is it for the non-light up figures. Well, I have 4 light up figures, 2 Sonic and 2 Shadow. So we have this Sonic light up figure. This one's also from that 4-pack. And this one has no articulation in the stomach, but on the back you do have like a battery pack. And that is because when you push his chest, he lights up, and this is pretty cool. I do understand for this one why they have some like holographic translucent quills here just because of the light up effect. I don't get why the 5-inch figure has that effect as well, since this one doesn't light up all this one does. But I will say I don't know which one is better though. I do like this one more because of the light, but I do like this one because it's facial expression. But let's get into the Shadow light up figure. This one has more points of articulation than the one on the motorcycle. I mean, for one, his hands, and I already just that was accident, by the way. I did not mean to push this button early, but you push his center chest on his tougher fur, he lights up, and The same effect here. You do get some like translucent quills for the light up. It's pretty cool. You also get his shoes. This is pretty cool. And I do think this one is better than the other shadow figure. And these next two are from a 2-pack that I was looking for after the movie came out. So we got the light up Supersonic figure. Again, he plays the chest and he lights up. It's a pretty cool figure. Now, the thing I noticed is that for this Supersonic figure and this Sonic light up figure, their facial expressions are the same. And that same also goes for the Shadow figure as well, which I will get to momentarily. But I think it's crazy that both of them have like the same facial expression, but this one is his regular form and this one is him in his super form. So there's that. And then we got the Super Shadow figure. This one also lights up. He plays that. And he lights up. This one is also pretty cool. And since this is filmed in the daylight when I'm filming this video, you can't see the full extent of like the light up very well. It is a pretty bright light. But yeah, it is pretty cool. And taking a look at the light up shadow figure, again, it's the same facial expression. Don't know why they would do that, but it's just the same figure but in different forms. He also got his shoes there, but that really is it for like the action figure. So let's get into the final category of merchandise I have, which is for the plushies. Now, if you've taken a look at the background of like my set, you know that I do like to collect some plushies. Mainly right now I'm into like the collectible plushies, like the Hazbin Hotel ones or the Murder Drones. I'm still wanting to get the J&V plushies. But another type of plush that I'm wanting to get is the Sonic movie Build-A-Bears. And that is what I have out right now, so I'm going to be showing them individually by movie order. So let's start off with the one for Sonic Movie 1, which is the Ugly Sonic Build-A-Bear. This one, you'd think that they would have made this Build-A-Bear into the redesigned Sonic, but they were so late into production footage, so they had to get these out. And comparing like this Ugly Sonic Build-A-Bear to like the Ugly Sonic that we got in the first Sonic movie trailer from April 2019, this one I think looks better than that version that we got in live action. Just, I don't know why I do like the kind of like facial expression he has. I think this one does look better than that original design. You also got the hands, which aren't gloves, the shoes as well, which are different from the shoes that we eventually got, and they do got the Sonic movie logo. I would take these off, but I just would prefer to have these kept on, but he has no socks, and it's just his bottom foot says the Sonic movie. So that's really the Ugly Sonic Build-A-Bear. Moving on to the ones for Sonic Movie 2, we got ourselves the redesigned Sonic. Now, even though this Build-A-Bear is specifically for the second Sonic movie, I got the shoes for Sonic Movie 3. That is because for the second Sonic movie, when these came out, I didn't get the shoes. So whenever they had the third one and they re-released Sonic, I was like, yeah, I have to get the shoes. And again, with the Ugly Sonic one, I'm not going to take these shoes off to show the foot, but it really is just the Sonic Movie 2 logo. And also, these were a pain to put on just because of how much stuffing is in here. I'm very picky with Build-A-Bears. But this one, in comparison to like the Ugly Sonic one, this one just looks way better. You do get some more classic Sonic in him. One thing though, you do not get that little white strip in between his eyes, which is accurate to the Sonic movie one. Apologies, but I had to itch my nose. But this one does look a lot better. You do get the gloves and the socks. The shoes come separately. And yeah, I do think this one is pretty cool. Back spikes are also different in comparison to this one. So yeah, this one was pretty cool. But this was only the second Sonic Movie 2 Build-A-Bear I got. First one actually was for the character of Tails. Now, I originally got Tails first just because I was fine with the ugly Sonic one being the Sonic for my Sonic movie collection, but I was like, nah, I had to get the newly designed Sonic. But here for Tails, this one looks pretty good. The foot says Sonic 2. They re-released Tails for the Sonic movie 3 one, but this one's for the second movie. Here's pretty good. You got his double tails right here. Here's the marking there, the lines. He was on my shelf in my closet, so he has those lines, but it's pretty cool. You got the shoes that are sewn on for some reason. Like, they could have had Sonic with his shoes sewn on, but they decided to sell Sonic shoes separately. But here for Tails, looks pretty cool. He also got his gloves in there. Pretty cool Build-A-Bear. This next one, though, was honestly a pain to get just because he was sold out for many, many months, and I didn't even get him until the end of 2022 when they restocked him. That is Knuckles. This one was insanely hard to get just because this one was so sold out online, and yeah, I do really think that it was worth it in the end just because I do really like this Knuckles Build-A-Bear. You do get his fist here, it's pretty cool. This foot has the Sonic Movie 2 logo, but this one has the Build-A-Bear logo because his fists do not have the Build-A-Bear logo. I do like the shoes as well, which is again printed on. You also got that white bit of fur in there. I do also like the color they chose for Knuckles' eyes, pretty cool. And yeah, this one is just a pretty cool Build-A-Bear, and the one I had the most difficult getting just because, again, it was sold out for many, many months, and I lost faith that this guy would ever come back. Now I had to wait 2 years when Sonic 3 came out. But he restocked in December of 2022, and I had to get him immediately, so good thing I did go. Next one I got is for Super Sonic. This one doesn't come with shoes. Got the logo, the paw print with the Build-A-Bear logo. This one is pretty cool. You do get a really cool yellow for this Super Sonic. His eyes are red. And one thing I will say though, in comparison to like this Sonic, the material they use for Super Sonic is better than the material they use for this Sonic, just because this one just comes out a lot more fluffy and more soft, and I actually do really like that for the Sonic movie Build-A-Bears and Build-A-Bears in general. Like, this fabric is just so soft, and yeah, I do really like this stuffing and fluff for Super Sonic. The next one is for Sonic Movie 3, which I avoided a Knuckles and was able to get him, and I did make a video showing this one off, but it is the Shadow Build-A-Bear. Now, the Shadow Build-A-Bear uses the same material as the Super Sonic Build-A-Bear, so again, it's super soft. In certain lights, it looks like he's the color brown, but he is supposed to be black, just like he is in the movie. In games, you also got the top of fur, which is also pretty soft. You do get his Build-A-Bear paw print on his hand. You do get this gold circular ring around his glove. And the shoes are again sewn on. And I do like the detailing they put on the shoe. This is when you got the Sonic 3 logo. And especially this, which I don't think is ever explained what this particularly does. So if you know, let me know down in the comment section. But yeah, this one is honestly pretty cool and might be my favorite of the Sonic movie Build-A-Bears, maybe because Shadow in Sonic movie 3 was just so awesome. But that isn't really it for the Sonic movie Build-A-Bears, because I did get this Master Emerald accessory, which is pretty cool. Got the Sonic movie logo on the back, and I'm not complaining that they didn't sell each of these emeralds individually for the 7 Chaos Emeralds, because in the movies, they established that when all 7 Chaos Emeralds are formed together, they form the Master Emerald. So this is pretty cool. And that's really it for the Sonic movie Build-A-Bear. And really in general, all of the Sonic movie merchandise that I have, If I had to pick my favorite of all the ones that I've shown in terms of like the categories, I have to go with the Build-A-Bears just because I do really like Build-A-Bear. I have a lot of memories of that place, but I also do really like what Build-A-Bear did with the Sonic movie plushies. I do also like the popcorn buckets and the figures though. But just like I mentioned earlier in this video, this collection is far from over because you know that Build-A-Bear, whenever Sonic 4 comes out, they're gonna make an Amy Build-A-Bear. They're gonna make a Metal Sonic Build-A-Bear. In fact, I'm still waiting for the day they announced that Build-A-Bear is going to be making a Super Shadow Build-A-Bear because you don't have Super Sonic Build-A-Bear and not have Super Shadow. Like, that would be such a missed opportunity. And in terms of like the Sonic figures, I'm hoping that they keep like this aesthetic for the figures of Amy and Metal Sonic. But that is really all of the Sonic movie figures that I've gotten. And you know, whenever I get the Sonic movie 4 merchandise, I'll definitely make videos unboxing those types of merchandise if I still have a YouTube channel in 2027, but I think I will, so that wouldn't be a problem. But also, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below your favorite piece of Sonic movie merchandise. But I will see you in the next video, and have a great day.